Well, hi everyone. My name is Jeff, and today I would like to talk about mindfulness and meditation practice. They definitely go hand in hand, and I wanted to, in particular, talk about focus and shifting our attention. And I was running this morning. I took kind of a little bit of walking, a little bit of running, sometimes wind sprints. Early in the morning, I'm here in the desert, and is to kind of break up the energy and to access more energy in order to give this little talk for a while. I also meditated this morning to empowered music, and I am going to describe some things that I've noticed is a relationship between meditation and mindfulness practice that can really enhance both types of practices, but they're very similar practices. Of course, mindfulness practice is done in our daily activities, and meditation practice is, for instance, a technique. I think meditation practice is much more than a technique. But the techniques can be quite powerful and can be very helpful in building up energy, and we can learn about how to consolidate that energy, many things. But in regards to this morning, on my run, I have run near a particular mountain. It's a local kind of power spot that I've noticed. It has some power coming out of that particular mountain, and it really picks me up and enhances my experience. And this morning, when I was running near the mountain, I noticed off to my left a really large saguaro cactus with many arms was on the ground. So it had died, and I don't often see that. It's an unusual sight, so I immediately kind of shifted my focus from running to actually what was going on just for a few minutes with that majestic cactus, maybe 150 years old or more. And I just found myself just taking my hand and gently touching the spines on the main part of that saguaro cactus. And it's just something spontaneous, and I feel it was it's just a type of communication and kind of sharing a little bit with that cactus, which will be on to its next adventure. It was a little bit sad, but also something quite interesting and powerful about being with that cactus just for a short while. So it kind of grabbed my attention. And then I continued on with my walk and run. In mindfulness practice, especially using the technique of running, so I am focused on being able to run. I'm watching my breath, I'm feeling my breath. I'm sort of always learning something on these walks and runs about myself. So with running, if I'm getting a little bit painful in my legs or something, I'm getting tired, I just sort of kind of let go into the run, into my breath, and I can go much further than I really think I can go at times. Other times I will be walking, and I pay attention as I'm walking through a powerful area, which imparts to me a certain level of energy that is very helpful, especially in a video like this. And also I may pick up on some sort of interesting kind of knowledge. So mindfulness practice is really, in my mind, a 24-hour practice, also in the dream plane. And it's being aware mainly in our daily activities, and of course our activities when we get home at night, whatever our particular activities and schedules are throughout a 24-hour period. Formal meditation practice is in my mind, is still very similar, but it is more of a technique, at least in what I'll say in this video. For instance, I will focus on a chakra, a particular chakra, one of the three main chakras, whether the navel center, heart center, or third eye. And it's a really tight focus. I build up to that over the years. And that focus is so important in accessing this type of energy portal to all sorts of happy things, in my mind. Very powerful things go on if we, over the years that we meditate. And everybody has their particular style of meditation and maybe their particular technique that works for them. In the meditation, I will either be focusing on the chakra, on light, the higher light, the intelligent light, on the empowered music, which I'll have a brief description, briefly mentioned in the description. It's very powerful music that you can have free access to, and which I've also discussed in other videos, that is quite innate in our building up our energy in our meditation practice. There's also something I do at times is to also focus on a high teacher. We all have maybe access, if we choose to different teachers that we're drawn to, high teachers that we might be drawn to. So it's different in each of our cases. But those are four particular things I do in my meditation practice. And I've talked about meditation in other videos and will continue to do so. So in meditation, the focus also comes into play. So there's focus on the particular chakra, or the music, or the light, or the high teacher. And that builds up a certain amount of energy. And as we go deeper in meditation practice, for instance, we can start feeling an inner flow of energy that's very deep in our subtle physical body. The subtle physical body is made out of luminous light, and it's quite a wonderful and interesting kind of structure that we learn more about as we go deeper in each of our own meditation practice, if we choose to do that. That's an interest of ours. So a focus there is that if I'm noticing at times a deeper energy flow, I stay aware, stay very present. That's very important. It's not often that necessarily happens, although it can happen very often. It all depends on each of our practices, how deep we really wish to go. If we feel that inner flow and it's also leads us somewhere, we can actually go with that flow, enter into the deeper flow of awareness. And if we can stay focused and actually shift our focus, or shift our state of attention to be able to let go enough into that flow, it can take us to the higher dimensions of happiness. Knowledge can be imparted to us. I sometimes I mentioned briefly that I might have something in mind that I've been working on, sort of in the background of my mind, but not too far. But what can happen is, as we enter into higher intelligence, by going deeper in meditation, a type of, I've noticed in my own practice, a type of knowledge can be imparted to me that actually has something to do with this question in mind I might have, or a particular process or structure that I'm working on, that I'm trying to understand more. It's interesting how that works. It has to do with what our intentions are and our state of attention and what we're trying to do in our meditation. Although meditation ultimately is really not a doing. It's more of a letting go, I think. And there's so much to learn about letting go also that I've mentioned in other videos, and we'll continue to talk about in different videos. In my mindfulness practice, I forgot to mention, there's also this important concept of shifting our focus, being able to have the strength of mind, a certain level of elevated power, energy, to be able to shift our focus to something that we have noticed, energy-wise. When we're out in nature, we're really in the swimming actually in the flow of awareness. Awareness is everywhere. Awareness makes up everything, really, is what I've noticed. And so it's everywhere. And as we quiet down our mind, as we're letting go more, as we're also paying attention and have a stronger mind, then we can pick up what's going on in regards to how awareness flows. So it has different properties. It has a nature to different aspects, and it has a nature to the way it flows that is endlessly fascinating. So much going on with that type of discovery that can happen in mindfulness practices, especially in this case where we're in a situation where we're running or walking and we're in nature, and really very important to stay aware and to stay attentive. Therefore, I would also say that there are openings I've mentioned about in other videos, very subtle openings in awareness that we can access if we pay attention and notice it and have enough power to actually take advantage of that type of situation. Be also a stillness of mind that comes from our meditation practice. The meditation practice, of stillness especially, is so important. So to be able to take advantage of these openings that lead to higher dimensions and knowledge and all sorts of things. That's why they're so similar, mindfulness practice and meditation practice. Both are building up a certain amount of power and giving us a certain level of ability to access these openings or access these higher dimensions, which are fun. It's all, if it's done right, it's a lot of fun, and we can flow with things. It's a letting go, and we don't have to put pressure on ourselves. It's very natural, and we all of us pick up on all sorts of things all the time. Sometimes we notice it more than other times because we're actually working our practice, our mindfulness, especially our mindfulness and meditation practice. So why don't I leave it at that? If I was going to say anything in addition, is that this is quite an experience doing a video. I may have briefly touched on this in the beginning of the video. I talk extemporaneously, and to be able to have enough energy and power and focus to be able to actually bring across what I'm trying to bring across is quite challenging, and I'm getting better at it over time. But it's another quite a study, and it has to do with building up a very strong focus, a strong mind through our mindfulness and meditation practice. Well, thank you for listening to this video, and have much continued success with your practice. Thank you.